Good evening. South Australian authorities are on high alert right now, testing 2 birds found dead on the Eyre Peninsula for the H5 bird flu virus. The spot they were found just 360 kilometres from the border with WA, where 2 cases have recently been confirmed.
A frightening find on SA's west coast.
For me, it definitely it sparked a little bit of concern.
Fowlers Bay local Rod Keogh discovering 2 dead subantarctic seabirds on his run yesterday morning.
To see the birds on the beach, a pelagic bird on the beach, as close to Western Australia as this, it's just worth reporting.
It's believed the birds were 2 different species of petrel, not commonly found on mainland shores. Rod quickly reporting to PIRSA, prompting rangers to arrive within hours.
They did everything absolutely by the book: hazmat suits, gloves, tape around the wrists, gloves, everything. So it shows you how important and how serious this is.
The birds taken to PIRSA's lab in Adelaide, with any possible cases to be referred directly to the CSIRO.
This just proves that reporting done right, it works really well.
But there's fears a detection on the Eyre Peninsula could not only impact the state's significant poultry industry, but also sea lion populations.
Early intervention is going to be is something that's going to definitely help us out if this happens.
Gretel Mead, 9 News.
And West Australian authorities have also expanded their testing. Jamie Freestone joined us from Esperance. Jamie, what's the latest?
Brenton, a short time ago, WA's Agriculture Minister revealed that 2 more samples will be tested. That's in addition to the 9 samples already sent away for preliminary testing. The specimens from Esperance will make their way up to Perth before they go across to the Australian Centre for Disease Preparedness in Geelong. Yesterday we had confirmation of a second bird testing positive to H5, a giant petrel found in shallow water, and that followed the discovery of a skua at Cape Le Grand National Park. Agriculture Minister says that a petrel has been found in Geraldton in WA's Midwest and a cormorant discovered in Perth, and they are the 2 birds that will be added to the list for testing. Federal authorities say there's no evidence of mass casualties or that the virus is spreading to our poultry suppliers, and health officials say that this virus does not spread easily to humans, but it is of course an anxious wait for testing results now in 2 separate states. Brenton?
Different story in Europe and the UK this morning, because they are sweltering through extreme heat conditions.
France has recorded its hottest day on record as 40 people across the country drowned while swimming in unsupervised areas. Let's go live now to Mimi Becker, who is out in the elements for us in London. Mimi, good morning to you. Just how hot is it there this evening?
Good morning, Sarah and Todd. Well, across parts of London today, it reached 34 degrees. But here in the UK, it's really the build-up to a heat wave with record temperatures forecast for tomorrow and the day after. But Europe is already sweltering through those conditions. In France, as you say, 40 people have drowned since Thursday trying to cool off in this extreme heat, while 2 children have sadly died after accidentally being left inside a car in this heat. Now, the Eiffel Tower was forced to close early today due to the extreme heat, and the perceived temperature is so much hotter than it actually is. So temperatures were around 40 degrees, but it felt like 47. So absolutely scorching. Similar conditions across Spain and Italy as well. And the United Nations is calling for more to be done.
We have just lived through the 11 hottest years ever recorded. And today, this city and far beyond are experiencing the hottest day of the year with higher temperatures to come. London isn't just calling, it's cooking.
Of course, cities like London are not built for this heat. Transport is already closing ahead of tomorrow's extreme temperatures, as well as schools. Tom and Sarah.
OK, Mimi, thank you.
On to Europe now. It's weltering under one of the most intense heat waves in years. In fact, what's been dominating headlines is the term heat dome. Record-breaking temperatures have scorched several parts across France, Spain, Italy, Britain, claiming lives, straining power grids and forcing the authorities to issue emergency warnings. France recorded its hottest June day on Tuesday as the country swelters under record high temperatures. Our next report telling you more.
A deadly heatwave is gripping Europe. At least 42 people have died in France alone as temperatures soared to record levels across the continent. Among the victims are 2 young children, aged 2 and 4, who died after being found unconscious inside a family car in southeastern France. The extreme heat has also been linked to the deaths of elderly residents. Around 40 people died in drowning incidents alone in France as people rushed to beaches, rivers and lakes to escape the scorching conditions.
I think that today we're simply experiencing what we've been warned about for years regarding global warming. And today, I think it's a reality we can no longer deny even on an individual level, like when we come to a park at 11 p.m. to find a bit of cool air. The fact is, global warming is very much here.
France's western city of Bordeaux recorded 41.9 degrees Celsius, breaking its previous temperature record. Paris, too, is expected to register its hottest June day on record, with temperatures climbing well above seasonal averages. The heat wave is not limited to France. In Spain, temperatures in the northern coastal city of San Sebastian were forecast to hit 40 degrees Celsius, more than double the city's historical June average.
Very bad. I wear light clothes and I keep drinking, hydrating because it is unbearable. Even when we are not under the sun, temperature rises. We have to be careful with this because we are getting older and we have to look after our health. That is very important.
Italy has issued red heat alerts for a dozen cities, while electricity networks are coming under pressure as millions rely on air conditioning to cope with the heat. In Britain, forecasters warn that temperatures could exceed 39 degrees Celsius this week, potentially shattering the country's long-standing June heat record.
I think UK heat is something different to the rest of the world, so 36 degrees is going to be disgusting. I don't know if you remember the 40 degrees a few years ago, and it was like stepping into an oven, so I feel like that might happen again, but it brings everyone outside. Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Scientists say the extreme conditions are being driven by an omega block weather pattern, which is drawing hot air from the Sahara across much of Europe and trapping it over the region. Scientists warn that climate change is making heat waves more frequent, more intense, and more deadly. According to the World Meteorological Organization, Europe is warming at more than twice the global average rate.
Very hot here. I think it's very hot in whole Europe, in the most part of Europe. We were in the atomium, a lot of energy. And why is it not cooling? There's a lot of energy. But you have to drink to stay in the shadow, especially the old people.
The warning from experts is clear. Extreme heat is no longer an exceptional event in Europe. It is becoming the new normal. Bureau Report, Beyond World is One.
The skies are streaked with dramatic hues of red over Mias, a resort city in Russia. A storm moved across the region. The authorities have issued warnings against heavy rain and thunderstorm. We'll leave you with these images. Thanks for watching.
Three people are dead, including the suspect, after a shootout in a Jewish neighbourhood in the Canadian city of Montreal. A gunman dressed in camouflage gear shot dead a police officer, and also a civilian was killed in the crossfire. Police were called after someone noticed a gun barrel protruding from the window of a hotel. The gunman opening fire as the first police officers arrived. A female officer was also critically injured.
Very sad day. It's a nightmare. But we have to be solid. We have to be solid for our lady police officer who survived.
The gunman was shot dead. Police are still trying to work out an exact motive.
New developments in the Montreal shooting that left a police officer and bystander dead on Monday. Quebec's coroner is identifying the suspect. To recap, Montreal police were called to the city's Côte des Neiges neighborhood after reports of a gun sticking out of a window. At least 29 gunshots were heard in a video circulating online, verified by CBC News. A 34-year-old police officer, Mohamed Lamine Ben Redouane, and a 68-year-old bystander, Michel Mizrahi, died. The suspect involved in the shooting was also killed. He's been identified as 25-year-old Seth Scott Hatfield from Lethbridge, Alberta. He was a student at the University of Lethbridge. Quebec's police watchdog is investigating the shooting with support from Lethbridge police. Hatfield wrote a violent incel manifesto targeting women. In it, he also criticized capitalism, liberalism, Zionism, and online pornography companies. Windows seem to have been shot or broken at a building in the area that houses the offices of the parent company of Pornhub. So far, investigators aren't confirming the shooter's possible motives. Local politicians have been expressing their condolences to the families and loved ones of the two victims. Montreal Mayor Soraya Martinez-Ferrada also expressed her concern at the role social media played in the shooting.
We have to work on making sure that our city and our people in our community feel safe, not only in the public space, but also on our social media. When you see recruitment of young people through social media, it is very concerning.
Martinez-Ferrada added that Montreal is still a safe city and said that guns have no place here.
This country has gotten very strange politically, especially with all the communists that are up for election. You know, you have communists. These aren't socialists. These are communists. And they're all up. How about the guy in Maine? He's got the Nazi stickers. He's got the whole deal, and they're trying to say so for 8 years, 10 years, they said Trump is a Nazi. Now they can't say that anymore because they have a guy with a tattoo on his chest. It's unbelievable. But they voted against no tax on Social Security. They voted against no tax on tips. They voted against no tax on overtime. And if they got into office, you will have all of those taxes and all of that money that you're saving, including the big savings on Social Security. It's going to all be terminated. You're going to have to start paying it. They want to pay it. I don't know what's wrong with these people. They voted in favor of the estate tax or the death tax on your farms and your businesses. You know, farmers and small business people, they love their children. If they love them, it's great. Most of the people love them. Some can't stand. I know people that can't stand their kids. They're not going to leave them 10 cents. But if you love your child, you want to leave your farm, especially from these farmers, it's born in them somehow. They want to have their children on the farm. The children don't want to leave, but sometimes they're land rich and cash poor. You know, I've known that expression too. I've oftentimes been land rich and cash poor. It's not a good period of time. And you die and you have a estate and they tax you at 40, 50, 60%. And they end up losing their farm, losing their small business. And in many cases, you don't read about this, they commit suicide. They actually go out and commit suicide because they're forced off their farm by a bank. They have to go out and borrow money from a bank.
Alternative would be a worldwide depression. You know, the stupid people want to have a worldwide depression, and they're stupid people. So you can only go so far. You drive somebody into the ground and a lot of bad things happen. Number one, the Strait would never open because they don't like floating billion-dollar ships up and down a strait when there are rockets flying over them and mines all over the place. So.
And with those words, I would get ready if I were you. That is the first public admission from Trump and the White House that they lack the cards. They are not in the seat in which he tries to say that we've been in, and this is about to become a disaster. Last week, going on a week now, he said we're 4 weeks from disaster. He said this himself on camera, and now he is telling the whole world that a U.S. Great Depression is on the horizon. He is warning you flat out because there's rules to the game. He said it. A bunch of people missed it. You need to share this and get this out there and tell people, hey, if you're not seeing what's going on, they're about to reset the whole globe, the entire planet. He said the Strait will never open if there's no Iran deal. There hasn't been, and they're giving 60 days. That is 2 months. That's a lot longer than 4 weeks. And if you can do the math, you clearly see there's a problem. We have people flipping out there saying that you better stock up on supplies. The price of fertilizer itself, they're stating right now, is going through the roof. that the ingredients and everything that you need for all your food just got way more expensive. Your grocery bills are about to soar too. And they've come out and they said Warsh and all them are expected to raise rates 3 times this year. They are planning to crush this place. All the warning signs are there. I've covered them. I've told you. It's all there. I don't know what else to say when Trump comes out and makes a statement like that about a U.S. Great Depression. I'd have your ducks in a row and I'd have some kind of plan on supplies, because at some point here, it's going to hit and the herd is going to stampede in to get stuff. You need to get caught in it. You've had plenty of time, advance warning, to do something. So I wish you well. Join me for the live streams going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where I'm trying to talk about remedies and things we can do against all this. But we're running out of time and big events are right in front of us.
Imagine fighting a war, making sacrifices, accepting risk. In fact, watching soldiers leave their home, watching families live under constant threat of missiles, watching businesses close, watching communities adapt to uncertainty, and then suddenly seeing your closest ally negotiating with the very country you believed threatened your security. That is exactly how many Israelis feel today. Across Israel, criticism is growing louder. Politicians, and that too from different parties, they are fighting. Former military officials, security experts, television commentators, ordinary citizens, many of them, they are asking the same question. Was all of this even worth it? For months, Israeli leaders, they argued that Iran represented one of the biggest threat to the country's security. They defended military operation. They justified the risks. In fact, they told the public that difficult decisions were necessary. They argued that pressure would weaken Iran's influence across the region here. But now many Israelis, they are looking at the US-Iran agreement and wondering whether those sacrifices achieve their intended goal or not. Here, some believe that the government gives Iran valuable breathing room. Others fear sanction relief could strengthen Tehran economically. Many worry the diplomacy is replacing pressure at exactly the wrong moment. And perhaps the biggest concern is uncertainty. Israeli wants to know what happens next. They want to know whether Iran's behavior, it will actually change. They want to know whether the agreement will make the region safer or simply delay future confrontations. The result is growing frustration. And increasingly, that frustration is being directed at Israel's own leadership. Because as public anger grows, one man finds himself standing directly in the center of the storm. Satellite images, one bloody picture, and suddenly the internet explodes. Did Iran destroy a key American radar system? Was a critical military asset knocked out during retaliatory strike? Or is this simply online speculation? Well, the radar in question plays a major role in air surveillance. It helped detect threat, track the aircraft, provide early warning. If it was damaged, that would be significant. And if it wasn't, the rumor themselves, it start revealing something important. Can you think how modern conflict really works? A few decades ago, military battles, they were fought mainly on land, in air, or maybe at sea. Today, there is another battlefield: information. In fact, images, narrative, and social media. A single satellite photo, it can travel around the globe in a minute. A single claim, it can dominate headlines before governments even have time to verify the facts. And that is exactly what appears to be happening here. Supporters of the claim, they argue that the images reveal serious damage. In fact, skeptics argue that conclusions are being drawn too quickly here. Military experts, they are urging caution. In fact, intelligence analysts, they are looking for more evidence, and ordinary people are left wondering what is true and what is not. Because in today's world, perception can be almost as powerful as reality. Governments do understand this, militaries do understand this, and increasingly the public is learning it too. Whether the radar, it was truly damaged or not, the whole controversy itself, it tells us something important. The Iran and the US conflict, it may be cooling diplomatically, but the information war, that is very much alive. And as long as competing narrative, it continues spreading online, every image, every video, and every rumor, it will be examined through a political lens. But now here are the emotions running higher than in Israel. Because while Washington talks about diplomacy, many Israelis believe that something very different is happening.
Awan panas.
Insoportable, mi gente, aquí. Insoportable aquí en el vivo. Mire, mire. Sacamos pila de clientes, ya está durmiendo para allá atrás.